Hey, welcome to Graphic Policy Television GPTV. Right in my hands is one of the brand new comics this week. It's Godkillers War on Terror #3 from AfterShock Comics. Fairly interesting comic, and this one, there's some good, there's some bad. Like it's a fascinating one. So it's written and created by Mark Sable. Maan House is the artist. Herman Cabrera is the colorist. Thomas Moyer is the letterer. So the story is it's basically a special forces unit that takes on mythical creatures. Easiest way of describing it, shady government people send special forces out and take on these mythical creatures. They're just fighting a Djinn. I'm not going to kind of ruin where the issue goes there. I really like the concept of the series, the idea of these mythical creatures being used for war, what kind of impact that would be on the world, and having a team needed to go out. Like, that is a cool idea. What's really funny is, like, I don't know when Mark Sable wrote this, and Mark's really smart and has done some really interesting stuff in the past. Some of the things said in this comic is just already really outdated, and I wouldn't say necessarily cringeworthy, but it was just one of those, is like, for anyone that is politically aware, it's just like a WTF. Not that Mark screwed up or anything like that. So the team winds up going to I think it's Syria at one point. I'm pretty sure it's Syria, I just don't remember specifically where it's Syria. And they have to go meet up with forces to help them. Of course, it's the Kurds, and there's like this back and forth with the Kurds, and the Kurds are like, oh, are you going to abandon us again or something like that? And it was just like, well, we did. So for someone like me who's, up on these political situations and what's going on in various places, it's one of those that I got to that point, I was just like, and that's not on Mark. Like, these stories take really long time to create and write and all that, and so it's one of those, like, in reality, if this was going on, like, now, the Kurds probably wouldn't have been all that friendly to meet this force, because we abandoned them yet again. And there's a comment of like, oh, are you going to abandon us to take on the Turks or something like that, or throw us to the Turks, and the Turkish government. And of course, that kind of is what happened. So for me, I don't want to say it took me out of the comic. It just felt like a very, not something that came out in 2020, but something that, like, I might have read in like 2016, if that makes sense. Just a very odd, small detail that caught me. But I generally like the story. Like, there's some interesting characters. Some stuff about religion and faith and all that, and characters kind of working through their religion and faith. And I think it would be interesting maybe diving into that a little bit more. But overall, like, it's one that I'm kind of reading and taking in more of like an 80s action film. Just turn your brain off and try to enjoy it. But there's like small, it's one of those that there's small bumps that takes me out every so often. The Kurds being this issue, like, that's what got me. And again, like, I don't think it's anything done on purpose. It's just like this really odd timing. I mean, it happened, maybe like last year at some point. So if you go with how long this is being written and written and colored and drawn and all that stuff and published, plus there's the delay with everything being released, like, it's understandable. It's just bad timing is the best way of putting it. So yeah, I like the concept, and there's some cool stuff with it. Like, the art is pretty cool. Like, the way they're showing off these mythical creatures. Like, we got the Djinn here. I'm not going to show off tons. I actually don't want to show off the next thing that they encounter. It's kind of like a gritty kind of war comic. I don't know quite how to describe the style, but I dig it. Actually, the cover spoils what I didn't want to show. But it's a sad. Like, if you're into 80s action films, it's worth checking out. Maybe you're not quite as, like, dialed in on some of the geopolitical stuff, so maybe that won't catch you up on reading it, but, this is me we're talking about. This is, of course, something I'm going to notice. So, yeah. And maybe Mark wrote that on purpose as kind of a FU to U.S. policy, knowing that we did this. Like, I don't know. Haven't talked to him about it, but it's this is me we're talking about. Of course I'm going to notice something like that. But yeah, as I said, like, if you're in 80s action comics, you're going to dig the series. The third issue, you can kind of start with it and catch up what's going on, but you're really going to want to start with the first two and go to the third. Like, it's a third issue. We're kind of well into the arc. But it's one that's enjoyable. It's definitely enjoyable. It's out now in comic shops. You can go get it. We got a link beneath this video where you can go check out comic shops, put in your zip code, tell a shop near you. Go support your comic shops. They need all the help they can get right now with the weirdness that's going on. If you do not have a comic shop near you, or they don't have this or aren't able to get it, they should. We got links beneath this video. They're affiliate links. Some of them are to comic shops. And by purchasing through that, you not only help the shop that you're purchasing from, but we do get a small percentage as well. But really, go support your comic shop first and foremost. Go hit them up. Speaking of support, I want to thank AfterShock for hooking us up with the review copy. We appreciate it, and thank you for watching. If you are into comics, if you're into AfterShock, check us out every single day at graphicpolicy.com. We're on Twitter, Facebook, YouTube, Tumblr, all at Graphic Policy, keeping it nice and consistent. So until next time, keep reading those comics and keep it geeky. Hey, thanks for watching the previous video from Graphic Policy Television. Just by watching, you help support our site. Thank you so much. Now, if you're watching these videos, you probably care about geeky things like movies, television, comic books, toys, games, video games, you name it. You can go and subscribe right now to our YouTube channel to stay in touch and catch all the new videos, or check out our website at graphicpolicy.com. There's a nice link on this end of the video. But as always, thank you for watching. Keep on rocking and keep it geeky.